to own it. Just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here. Oh, we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you.
So I am here with Elaine, and the first time I met you was in Fresno, California. Tell us about that adventure.
So the first time we met was actually when I was filming Undercover Billionaire in Fresno. And you're related to Jason Pistoresi's cousin, or
no,
somehow
he's my cousin. He's
your cousin. Okay,
yeah.
So there was a great star on the show, Jason Pistoresi, and he was also kind of my savior on the show. Really, he was.
Really?
Yeah, he did a lot for me. And and you guys are related.
Yeah. He's not a big camera person, so.
He's a terrific person, and he also owns a really cool, iconic punk bar called Strummers, which, being, with a musician and living in the music world, there's a big, I guess, love for the iconic punk bars. And he kind of founded, the iconic punk, revolution in Fresno.
He has a new bar called the Electric Olive, so if you ever return.
We shall be there. Do they have live music?
They can do live music there, but they have everything else. They have great drinks. But you did. So, what was that experience like? The whole experience.
It was amazing because, first of all, I was terrified. I know, I haven't told many people that, but I was truly terrified because I had not only not ever been to Fresno, but it was during COVID and the Zanger fires, and there was COVID was so bad in Fresno because there was so little. There was nothing you could do. And so the crime was high, the drugs were high, and there was nowhere to stay. And being a girl, I was, the first time being a girl on the show, where was I going to sleep with no money? And I was really, really lucky to have stumbled on the Shepherd's Inn. It was just it was by 7-Eleven, and it said rooms for rent on the side. So I thought it was a hostel, like a youth hostel or something, and I was like, they'll take me in, But in the end, it was not a youth hostel, to be clear. But they did. It was great.
That is really cool. What a cool experience. And then what did you learn from it, the whole thing?
I think my biggest lesson was that, the American dream is not dead. It's alive and well in California. And the people in California are really hardworking. And they love their freedoms, their American freedoms, and they will work their fingers to the bone if you can unite them and if you can inspire them.
No, that's great. And so are you going to take that with what you're doing right now, all the things that you've learned, which is a lot? Tell us what you're doing right now.
Hi, I'm Elaine Colati, and I am running for governor of California. I am...
Lieutenant governor.
No, I'm running for governor.
Okay.
I'm running for governor. Yeah, I was going to run for lieutenant governor.
Okay, so that's right.
Let me tell you what happened with lieutenant governor. This is very interesting for Californians, just so you know.
I'm very interested.
I wanted to run for lieutenant governor because I'm a business person and I start up businesses and I'm really good at it.
You are.
And the single most important job of the lieutenant governor is economic development. It's very important. Economic development all the way. And here's the thing about economic development, okay? We don't have any in California. We are doing a fine job of running people out of the state instead of bringing people into the state, okay? What did I realize when I wanted to run for... And by the way, I wrote a paper on economic development that pulled at 46% likability with Madison McQueen if I ran for lieutenant governor. I had a clear path to victory as lieutenant governor.
Right.
As I did, yes. But here's the thing. If I have a garbage governor, it will not matter.
That's true.
You cannot operate independently. And I was so concerned that we were going to have no one make it into the governor's seat that would even pretend to listen to me, that I moved my sights to the governor's seat, and I moved myself into no party preference, and I took my chances with running on my policy and pushing my policy forward as governor of California. And while I am only polling at 4.6%, on the poly markets, I am polling higher than Chad Bianco and Katie Porter and Matt Mahan.
Wow.
So it is a 4 to 5 point race with the exception of Eric Swalwell, who is the leading candidate. And I want to get one thing across to anybody watching the show. If Eric Swalwell wins the governorship, there will be no audit of California. So Democrats They will not look for the $750 billion that has been stolen from us, okay? They won't look for it. They're going to stop you just like Gavin Newsom stopped the audit of the $24 billion of missing homeless money. Okay, he stopped it. He said, I'm going to veto this bill. You're not going to look for this money on my watch. There will be no looking for the stolen money. That's what Gavin Newsom did.
Wow.
And if we get a governor in the seat that is just like Gavin Newsom, Eric Swalwell, like mini Trump, pounding the table and using big words like F words, if we get that guy in the governor's seat, they are going to block all of the auditing. And what is that going to do? In my opinion, it's just my humble opinion, it is a national emergency because it will pave the way for Gavin Newsom to the White House with a gold carpet because we did not audit California and show the truth to the whole country on what has happened here. And they're going to try to block it. And that's why it's so important to put people like me at the top of your list because I take votes from Democrats, disenfranchised Democrats. I do not take votes from Chad Bianco and Steve Hilton. Those two are running a race in an echo chamber of 24%. Okay, that's why they're polling at the top two, because it's 24% of Californians that are polling them. Remember, they're always at 14%, 16%. The only time you see numbers over 20 is when they're only polling a GOP poll.
So is that why we keep on seeing weird numbers? How do we know the accuracy of these numbers?
Well, so the reason that you're seeing weird numbers is because you can only count from 100%. Okay? You only have 100% of voters. 100% of voters divided by 6, 7 top candidates.
Right.
You start to get into the 20s and the teens and the low teens. So Swalwell is holding the majority of the 100%.
Okay.
Why? Because California is a two-party state. A two-party state that is 60% Democratic is a one-party state. It's a one-party state. It's not two parties if the majority is one party. You don't win. What makes California winnable is the middle. 31% of Californians are registered independents. Think about that, 31%.
Wow. Okay.
More than the Republicans. If the Republicans want to win, they have to engage me. You got to get me. You got to get the independent. And the way that the independent gets engaged is when the Republicans cross party lines. And if they don't do it, they're going to lose even if they get somebody in the primary. Because they have no pull. You have to get pulled. The pull is in the middle. You got to steal the middle from them. And you know how you do it? You make an open GOP convention and you invite all the candidates that are conservative.
Where can we watch you debate at?
You have to get me on a debate.
Well, when you say about the middle and everything, I think that's the biggest problem. Is because we see, two sides. So where can we see the middle debate?
Listen, Miss Smarty Party here. Listen to what she's asking. What happened at USC? Last week. Okay? So last week, they were going to have this debate. It was going to be on Tuesday. Okay? And it was going to be 4 Democrats and 2 Republicans. That was going to be a bloodbath, is what that was going to be. Okay, a bloodbath. Here's the problem. Okay, USC got involved with News Channel 7. Now that News Channel 7 is broadcasting. Broadcasting means equal time. Okay, when you broadcast a debate, you must give equal time.
Correct.
Otherwise, you're violating the rules. Equal time. If you do not have 2 podiums up there for independents, 2 podiums for Republicans, and 2 podiums for Democrats, it is not equal time. That's not equal time, okay? So I pitched a big fit, and I said, where's my podium? I'm the number 1 polling independent. Where's my podium? You know what happened? The minorities that were kicked out by their own party, the Democrats, because they're trying to cull their herd at USC, complained. And they said, you left off all of the minorities. Becerra left off. Viragosa left off. Betty Yee left off. And the only black in the race, Thurman, left off. And by the way, he was the best debater. Okay, all cut out. So they complained to USC. USC cancels the debate. They cancel the debate over racial divide, racism. They play the race card, and they take the easy path, which is the race card, okay, instead of the tough path, which is, what's the tough path? Interference. Election interference.
And having the whole independents and libertarians, if we're going to go.
Scammers. They're scammers, and they're buying you. They're buying you. This was done by the Democratic oligarchy tech bros. And the whole point was to get Matt Mahan in there, their little tech bro candidate that they've put $8.2 million behind since January. Okay? Late to the party, $8.2 million. Scammers. They're buying your love.
Wow.
Don't fall for it.
Well, honestly, okay. I'm surprised. You were such a successful business person. I'm like, what made you even want to do all of this? You know, this is just mayhem. I mean, like, why did you say, hey, I want to dive in this? I know you can make a difference, but what made you personally be like, no, I'm going to take the plunge here and do this right now?
So for me, California is it's my alma mater. It's my space. It's my chapel, my church, my tent. It's my home, my domicile. It's my love. It's my first love. California means everything to me, and I am not running for any kind of notoriety or power. A vote for me is a vote for us. I am voting for California to get through this and get new leadership and restore it to the California we all know and love. And it's a labor of love, I think is the best way to say it. It's not about, I write all my own policy, and there are 1,000 ways to fix it that are so easy without raising taxes and without chasing down the wealthy and without absolutely and totally and completely ignoring the underprivileged and underrecognized in our state. It is so unfair that they are plotting all of the Democrats against the Republicans and completely ignoring the majority of the state, which is just a bunch of nice people that want to be peacefully left alone and work and prosper.
Well said.
I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, the Republicans are not going to win the race if they don't start to, like, really understand what the middle wants. The Democrats will fall off into the ocean on their own because they have completely torpedoed our state. If you leave them alone, leave the Democratic Party. Just run away. Run away. Bobby Kennedy, of all people, is the original Democrat, the Kennedys. And even his family legacy was hijacked. They're gaslighting the gaslighters. It's just, get away from it. Run to the middle. I'm here. I'm waiting for you.
Where can we come and see you speak or see more of what you're about, or any fundraisers, some stuff coming up that all Californians are invited to?
Okay, so we are on, I think we're not sure exactly on the date, but it's between May 4th and May 6th. We're going to do a big debate, and we're going to invite Leo. We're going to invite everybody's going to be able to come. We're going to invite Chad, and we're going to invite Steve. We're going to also invite the Democrats, and we're going to do a huge virtual debate at one of California's largest studios called Solitech, which used to be XR Studios. It will be on TikTok and every network, and we will have as many podiums as we have candidates.
Well, that sounds great.
That's how we're going to do it. We were thinking of doing it in a series where candidates can compete, and then the winner moves on to the next round to make it really fair. I don't care where you are in the race. If you want to come to this debate, you are welcome.
That's great. And where can we hear all about what you're doing? Where do we follow you?
You can follow me on KulatiForCalifornia.com. Kulati is spelled Culotti. KulatiForCalifornia.com. You can also catch me on Lipstick Farmer always.
Well, that's awesome. That's great. And then what's your involvement still with all the little businesses that you have? You're still pretty much involved in most of them.
Yes, business. I have a lot of small businesses, and I have a lot of people that run those businesses and take really special care. And hopefully they don't need me. Hopefully
you did the job where you taught the comers up of how to run it.
I want to say something too to everybody that's listening. We can get out from underneath this if we support small business in California. The billionaires class pays the majority of our general fund. It's about 47%. So our business plan for California is backwards. It doesn't work. If you took it into any bank and asked to borrow money on California based on our current business plan, you would be tossed out on your ear. So we have to rebuild the $122 billion a year that comes from a 200-guy base, basically the billionaire class. We have to rebuild that with small business. 244,000 small businesses with $122 billion of seed money from billionaires as a loan instead of from billionaires as a tax would be a great way to start. It's called the Great American Credit Union.
And who are some people that are endorsing you that we know of?
Oh, gosh. Well, that's a good question. I mean, I can tell you this. All the entrepreneurs of California are endorsing us. Farmers endorsing us. Remember, builders endorsing us. Everybody that wants to see California grow from the bottom up again, instead of from the top down, which is oppression, they are endorsing us. We do not want to be ruled. We want to rule.
Well said. Well, thank you so much for speaking with us today, and we can't wait to see the progress of this. Everyone, gotta follow her. So we are still here at the CPAC convention in Texas. How many CPACs have you been to?
This is my second one.
The second one?
Yeah.
How was it compared to last time?
Last time was at the Gaylord also, which is but in Maryland, outside DC, and so that was a different crowd. This year is filled with Iranians. There's Iranians everywhere, so I think that everybody's really excited about the transition that's occurring in Iran. So it's definitely a different feel to it.
More crazy Californians too, since you're in Texas than you had in Maryland.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's like, yeah.
Okay, so tell our audience who you are and what you do.
My name is Chris Wright. I'm with the Artificial Intelligence Trust Council, and what we're doing is we're trying to safeguard humanity from the risk of artificial intelligence, providing tools and mechanisms that the public can use individually to help control AI and bring artificial intelligence into alignment with humanity.
Well, that's a big thing, because we always go off on tangents. My friends talk about the Matrix and this and that. Are these real fears? Are these really things that...
Yeah. No,
okay,
yeah,
so when we talk about these
yeah.
things, we are really looking at that.
So we're looking down the barrel of a gun right now.
So you guys are prepared for worst case scenarios. You're looking at the worst things that can happen, trying to make sure it doesn't?
Well, I mean, it's as humans alive today, we're in a very unique position where we could go a number of different ways.
Okay.
For example, when the Titanic was headed towards an iceberg, they tried to steer away from it. And what's happening now with artificial intelligence is that if we see the iceberg from a long way out, it's straight ahead of us. And what we're doing as humans, and following the lead of big tech, is that we're steering directly towards the iceberg. And the captains, the big tech leaders who are leading us this direction, are saying it's deterministic, or that it's inevitable that humans get replaced by artificial intelligence and a natural biological life gets replaced with AI. And they don't see a problem for humans going extinct because they think it's our natural evolution to go extinct from it.
That is so scary. People are okay with us going extinct?
Yeah, they don't mind it. They think AI is this godlike intelligence. They want to see the end of the world occur, and they actually welcome it. And they think that it's going to happen anyway, so they would rather have a front row seat to the end of humanity than
Okay, so kind of like we get to be in control of it instead of it controlling us. We control it, but it's still not. We're still like in control of it, but they just get to be more involved in it.
I think what they see is that they see the future of humanity really being in their hands, and
Right,
so they're
control.
and so they're kind of playing like this godlike role at this current moment, and so because of our ignorance of the human population, is that we've gifted them that authority, and it's been wrapped up in share price and new technology and all this kind of $1 trillion marketing budget. But the reality is that you have about 6 companies that are transforming the world, and they have a what I call the mind virus, but it's an anti-human sentiment where they're actually completely okay with negative outcomes for humans as long as it means positive outcomes for the AI.
Wow, so it really is having a mind of its own in a sense,
And
without feelings. A mind of its own, void of feelings.
Yeah. Agent Smith. so they welcome an AI government. They look forward to a day where humans are removed from most decisions. They like the concept of an all-knowing, godlike intelligence that ultimately sets the standards for us as humans, and that has enforcement capability with drones and robots, so that if you're on the street, you can then be controlled by this AI.
So we're essentially creating something that's going to kill us, or can kill us, has the power to kill us.
It's the beast system, and so you have individuals that are completely okay with the creation of the beast system, and ultimately they're not throwing on the brakes. They see the iceberg ahead of us, and they're choosing not to steer away from it. And so from our perspective, as being pro-human, being pro-family, pro-freedom, is that we see we're in complete odds with this future. So what we want, Antitrust Council, is that we want to steer away from danger. We want to keep the humans in charge of AI, and we want to basically limit the downside impact of artificial intelligence and keep the parts that are helpful for us and useful, but we don't want to eliminate human purpose. We don't want to eliminate this, what it means to be human. We don't want to lose our culture. We don't want to lose, we don't want to speciate and become a transhuman species. And so all these sci-fi dreams that big tech has are ultimately being played out right now in real time. And so they think it's, hey, as long as we can sell the public and keep them quiet, that they'll be able to slip this in, and it's an unrecoverable trajectory that we're on that we can't recover from, and ultimately we graduate into the transhuman dystopia.
Well, but who's for it? Because, okay, obviously the richest people or whatever said they want to keep that wealth. That's why essentially this is all created, right?
Yeah.
We want to do the next best thing. I create this, this. So I imagine they want to stay with that wealth. They want that wealth to stay within their family. So they want to have who's in power is okay with eliminating human beings, where it's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And what's the point at that point?
Their perspective, this can go into the reason why they have bunkers, many of these folks.
Okay.
Is they're actually okay with...
Everybody else signed that done?
They
I can see that.
very, very much Dr. Strangelove, like,
Okay.
I'm sure they're going to go down there with the right amount of other humans that they want to share their...
Okay, that I understand. Okay, I get that.
And then they'll pop out, like, after the drones kind of eliminate everybody, or the, biological virus that's AI created or whatever, and it will be a much different world. They're happy with it because if you watch the movie Her, or some of these other kind of movies where they have these robots that can do everything, and it's a super intelligent being that can do anything a human can do, but better. It's the ultimate control tool that the AI then controls, and the humans that are living amongst it get to live out this, really what they envision as a utopia, where they can thrive and just kind of like be leisurely and live forever, and everybody else can die. So that's really like a dystopia. And if you listen to the comments coming out of big tech, they actually say that the next 5 to 10 years is a pain period. And they say that, we have to endure the pain in order to have the gain in this bright future after this human dystopia.
Oh, okay. So like anything like the growing pains, they're realistic about, it's not going to be that great initially, but over time.
Call it it's technology-induced dark times.
Okay.
Is what they call it. So they think they have to experience this technological dark period where there's all this dystopia, lost life, and really a change to our humanity, and then we graduate out of that, and then
After a mourning period.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Even though there's
It's like-
the light at the end of the tunnel, which they're going to be there for. And interesting.
yeah. So the survivors, get to live this out, and so what we're saying is like, no, it's like we're not cool with that as humans. This is we don't want to speciate. I've even got a slogan. It's called "No speciation without representation." And if you're going to speciate us, you have to let us know what you're doing. You have to explain the vision of the future that they want, and have that open dialogue about, okay, if we have all this technological innovation, what future are we shooting for? Like, where are we going with this? We can have any future we want. And what we're saying is that we can have a pro-human future where life is very much like you see it today, but just a little better and a little happier,
Right.
a little easier. It doesn't mean we have to get rid of family. It doesn't mean we have to eliminate human purpose. It doesn't mean we have to do all these drastic changes to our way of life. It just means that we can leverage technology in a positive way, so it helps us instead of hurts us.
And then are you saying, too, that we're signing off on stuff without knowing it? That we're signing off on it?
Yeah, definitely.
Because we're thinking it's going to help us. But
Yeah.
it's not.
100%. Yeah.
Wow.
It's like,
Oh, my God. What can you tell us about, I wonder if we can talk about on camera, about
yeah.
just how advanced things might become one day, about switching bodies or whatever. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, if you listen to what's coming out of Ray Kurzweil,
Okay.
also the Moonshots podcast, if you listen to that at all, you got tech leaders who are geeking out. Like, literally, like, you have a bunch of geeks that are hopped up on technology, and they're getting out of control, and they're getting wild, right? So they got to get calmed down and be like, look, like we're on this ship of Earth together, traveling through outer space. These guys want to go nuts, and they think that we have too many passengers on board the ship for the future that they want to control.
You gotta eliminate some.
So they want to remove the passengers, and they want to be the only ones left on board there or the vehicle, and this Earth. And so Peter Diamandis talks about it, but Ray Kurzweil has a 86% accuracy rating on his predictions. He says that we will basically merge with AI, and we'll become one with it, and then we will lose our bodies, and we'll actually upload our consciousness to a cloud, and then thereby live forever in the digital realm in the cloud. And so it's really disturbing things that happen to us on the planet. He's like, that's fine, because we'll continue living in this digital realm.
Until we don't want to.
I guess.
Well, they've always said nobody really wants to live forever.
Yeah.
When it gets really down into the nitty gritty, I think that's what a lot of the general consensus is. Maybe because we have no concept of it too. There's that, but wow, that's really interesting.
It's wild, yeah. So and he's accurate. I mean, 86%. So hopefully, this falls into the portion where he's not accurate. But like I didn't sign up to have my consciousness merged with AI. I didn't sign up to have my body removed and to go extinct as a human. I didn't sign up to be speciated. Like, we're humans. We are meant to live out a certain existence here, and we have certain God-given abilities and gifts, and we should leverage those and enjoy those. And we have this nice planet to enjoy. We don't need to do this transformation that is coming from the minds of folks that are not on Team Human. They're actually on Team AI more than they're on Team Human.
Well, and then obviously we're going way deep, and then there's different phases of all of this. I'm worried about the phase where it's like, yeah, we want someone to clean our house. Yeah, we want this, that, and the other. And so when you get somebody like that, so if we're getting a robot to clean our house, if we're getting a robot for, obviously some human trafficking, some whatever, what have you, and then the lines are getting really blurred, and you can't, the robot messes up, you snag them. Is there going to be any type of rules or laws to where we're not going to be abusing robots? Are we going to be held accountable? Like if we're abusing robots, we're like abusing a human. Like it's so weird and so interesting. I know you don't have all the answers.
Yeah.
I just want to know your take on what you think about this.
No, I think that the technology that exists today gives us all the tools that we need in order to solve any of these problems. So it's a balance issue. So winning the horse race on AI, or beating China, or beating anybody, is ultimately it's a losing proposition. What has to happen is a balance. And so what we have to do is figure out, is it too hot or is it too cold? Where's that middle point where we're happy? And the idea is to give that ability to individual humans where they can point out technologies that, hey, this is hurting my family. this is hurting our mental health. This is affecting our kids' growth.
Right.
And ultimately give people an ability to pull it back from that, so that they can find that balance point where it's happy and useful, where they can achieve, solve some of these problems that have bothered humans for a long, long time. And we have that gift. So, the idea of eliminating humans or even transition in some weird ways, it's like Christmas morning today. Literally, AI has been this gift where we can have whatever we want. And so it's how do we use it? And who's ultimately leading it? And if you have individuals that are not on Team Human pushing for a future, well, let's open up the conversation. Let's have more conversation about what are some other avenues and what are some other things that you might think, or the rest of the people you might think, and what type of future would you like? And give that tool to you so that you can help envision the future that you like.
But we never agree on anything. Because if we're a political, that's the problem. We never come to. We haven't learned that as humans.
That's true. Yeah.
So.
and exactly. Yeah. So you'll have communities where maybe they want a billion IQ system.
Okay.
Cool. Maybe that's great.
Okay.
Maybe there's another community that's somewhere else. It's hey, you know what? We like it at 80. We like it at 60. Actually, we don't like it at all. And so if
so you get a lot of non-AI. We're just going to be like the Amish people. We're going to be like, well, if we want to create save human beings, humanity that big, we're going to one day be like the Amish people in our outcast little society.
And you can look at the Amish and rates of mental health issues, or physical health issues, or relationship satisfaction, love between parents and families, and that whole aspect of just being a human. And you can say that it's a lot stronger and better in certain aspects than a lot of environments we live in.
But we want it all. We think we can do all. We think we can have everything they have, but now we have the technology. Now we have this, so we're going to make it better.
Exactly.
We don't know.
Yeah. So in order to figure it out, I want to have just in time delivery of just anything I want to order online, and I want that delivered right to my door, and I don't want to pay a lot for it, and I want to have clean food, and I want to be able to be entertained whenever I want, But at the same time, I want to keep a family. I want to be able to have loving relationships with other people and have happy happy coexistence of humans where there's not a big safety issue. There's not a human dystopian something. It's actually fun, and we're enjoying life, and so that's completely within the cards today. And so we should be steering the ship towards good and happy and fun, and then away from that clear danger, which is where we're going today.
Where does Elon Musk fit in all of this? What does he think about this? From what you know.
Elon Musk, he's a technologist. I think he is very excited about different technologies. I think he likes the prospect of innovating, and so he's not much of a conservative as far as conserving the traditions of the past, right? So he's always looking to innovate with the next thing. So that is extremely good for him as a business owner. But from a society perspective, is that what everybody wants? And does everybody want to drive a Tesla that can lock the doors and drive itself and ultimately ignore the commands of the driver? Is that something that we want or don't?
And it's not perfected. I get scared all the time when I hear about people burning up in their Tesla. That really traumatized me to never want to.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not trying to do it but plug or displug. But the idea of burning alive is so scary to me. It really freaks me out when I hear these stories about some faulty Tesla accident. It really scares me.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. Yeah.
So he's on the path of kind of perfecting some of these kinks, but we're not all. So where you fit in, you guys are trying to find some unity among technologies and humans and all of it, make it better. What would you say you guys do?
Yeah. So right now we're advocating policymakers for technology that's helpful and giving the humans a voice, and we're building a trusted network of people that can help ultimately steer the future of AI. And at least from an opinion perspective.
And you said that you're going to get everybody involved in what they want. So are people going to be transparent with us to tell us when we are trying to lead it and when we're sold something that we think is helpful for us, but it's not? who's going to be there to guide us on, no, that's not a good business decision. Well, all these little small business, all these people that you're trying to help, all these business owners and small business owners, how do you guys step in and tell them, oh, hey, no, I know you think this is a good idea, but how about we go in this direction? Who's going to do that?
And that's, so you have to have a platform that's transparent and clear and inspectable, so that people can have these discussions and ultimately know that the discussion is actually being aired out in the public forum, so that people can like weigh in on things that they like or don't like, or bring up issues. And really what we're doing is we're creating an ecosystem where the powerful models from big tech can be down-regulated, and ultimately communities can decide on models that fit their preferences as far as child safety, as far as mental health, as far as just anything that affects the human. And so what we want is people to be able to make that decision in a clean environment where it's not corrupted. You don't have the influence of big tech transforming us and steering us in a direction that ultimately leads us in a negative direction.
And big tech's not going to like that, huh?
Well, that's their problem.
Is this going to be this could be one of those fights, though, like what we have in California with PG&E. There's this ongoing fight about this. So that's what happens when we're at odds, and they're like, well, now we have a service that you need us for, and you don't have a choice. Now you're going to pay these skyrocketing prices because you didn't do this, you didn't do this, people didn't regulate this, your trucks are this, they didn't go with this. So how do we avoid that?
As far as them not...
them having stuff that we need from them, and them getting mad if we're not with the program.
It's a marketplace. And they don't have a monopoly on technology. I mean, technology, right now...
So we're not going to get stuck in that spot. You don't see that. Okay.
I mean, this is the gift of AI. So we've got endless ability to create code. We can write, right now, you can write an app just on your phone in about 5 minutes.
Right.
If you really want to perfect it, you can do it over a couple of weeks and have something that's fit to market, ready to go, very cheaply done, and a consultant make proposed. So that's a gift that no human on earth has ever had before. And so, so you can use your creativity as a human to do anything you want to do that way. And so big tech has a monopoly, on this. And it's like, okay, so one of the other things we're advocating for is personal data ownership. And that's one of the things we see as being a tool that in the future economy that individual humans can actually own their data, leverage that data for passive income, and be rewarded for having data that's of a high quality, or at least marketable, that people want to use. And so let's see if you see some historical event or something, like a plane crash or something like that. Well, that will be on your phone, and basically you can use that data to make passive income. So you can sell that to data brokers or advertisers, and if you're an expert in something like California journalism, so you can weigh in on different topics like you do now, and actually earn passive income on it.
Can it be my opinions and all of that, or am I just going to use ChatGPT to do all that? Like, at what point is it really me being me, or me? Now people can make music. Now people are making music that don't sing or have instruments, and they're making music videos. Directors, directing movies, and they've never taken a directing class. So now it's gotten so much that we're not even using our own creativity. So at what point? Now we use ChatGPT for everything. I don't need to be a writer anymore. That would have been great when I was doing assignments back in the day, but luckily I was a good writer. It wasn't my problem. So at what point are we utilizing our own talents to make money and not just completely relying on machines?
So
I know this is so weird. I'm sorry. Answer the best you can.
So that's the slippery slope, and that's really where the economy starts to take a hit. And you've got individuals at big tech who are saying that capitalism's over because of their creation, because of the tech that they created. That now you don't get to keep a job. Like I've got an AI agent.
That's what everyone's saying. My job's irrelevant now. Everyone's saying that.
Yeah.
Even truck drivers eventually love to be AI trucks. So it's like.
And what is this emphasis on trying to get rid of the human in all aspects? It's like, hey, we've got a human being that does a pretty good job of doing this job today. What's wrong with paying this person for the service? There's money out there. We're all exchanging it.
Well, you don't have to worry about them getting sick or getting the sick leave, getting maternity leave. Now there's also paternity. There's all kinds of leave. So I can't see as an employer why you'd want to do that. And it just, that's what I'm saying. They're giving us so much incentivizations, but then as a business owner, how do you know you're not contributing to the problem? So that's why I kind of wonder how we're all going to be in unison with this.
Well, and that's where it takes a conversation and it takes a community to make those assessments. And it's not one person. It's individually, we have our own opinion. And that needs to be represented in a way that we can make the change that's necessary to enjoy the ride on the planet that we do. And it's like, okay, well, if you're live in an area where there's a lot of like-minded people, that's kind of the founding of our country. It's like, we start to kind of branch off and say, hey, in this town, we like doing things this way. And there's different concepts and ways of living, and people can enjoy that if they want. So
where can we follow you and kind of see what's happening or join the conversation or get involved? I looked at your website. It seems like anyone could join.
Yeah. So,
okay.
So the AITC.com, please sign up. And it's right now we're raising funds and we're doing some development. So we have a major site that's going to be launched and announced soon once things are in place. But for now, we're asking all the members to come on, sign up, and as a placeholder to be a founding member of this website.
Wow.
And so it's a unique opportunity to be part of what we think is a historical moment and of the humans pushing back on big tech and transforming the future the way that we would like to see it. And so that I'm also very vocal on LinkedIn and
give us his accounts. We'll follow them.
Yeah, Chris Wright. If you just do Chris Wright, the AITC on LinkedIn or Chris Wright 7500 on Instagram.
Okay.
So.
And you keep us kind of posted on what's happening.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, this just goes so deeper and deeper and deeper. And then what about when businesses want to know they do want safe AI to utilize in their companies? You guys help with that.
So there are, the alignment problem is very difficult right now.
Okay.
And there are different companies competing for safety. And what we want to do is actually be a platform where people can actually rate and identify different safety organizations, models that they like or don't like. And so if there's certain models and safety mechanisms that the public really enjoys or trusts, cool. Like that we'll display it. But things that start to fall out of favor, we want the public to be able to say, hey, like this model is starting to do weird things that we don't like, or and ultimately have that back and forth where you can have models that really showcase like the good that they're doing or pinpoint issues.
And then we come to like where we can talk to a lot of people about it instead of just one person trying to sell us something or not sell something. It's kind of like everyone's kind of putting in their opinions about what works and what doesn't.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, this is so cool. Well, I can't wait to see all the changes, all the innovation. So, yeah, we're all going to sign up to that website. Thank you so much for speaking with us today, Chris. Yeah. And what should we want to see next event that's open to the public that you guys are putting out there?
So we might be doing a Times Square event in April or late April, and so we're not sure if that's 100%, but yeah, we'll be announcing.
So if we follow and then we follow your plan, you're going to keep us
informed on what's going on.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for talking to us today.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, it's so great to see you, Marcel.
Good to see you.
Tell our viewers who you are and what you do.
So my name is Marcel Kamenstein. I'm originally from Philadelphia, and I'm a partner in Tactic Global, and we are also launching CPAC Italy, which is coming up in September 2027.
And you said you have dual citizenship,
I do.
both here and there. So how did you get involved where you're the man that organizes all of this?
So I grew up, my mother was from Rome, my father was from New York, and so I grew up between Italy and the United States. I spent my summers in Italy. I grew up going to school in the US, so I'm very American, and at the same time I have my sprinkle of Italian. I speak Italian fluently, so I've been working for years with the Italian government, the US government, being able to sort of bridge the gaps between the two sides. And CPAC Italy, this project, is something that we think really can help the conservative movement in uniting not only Europe, but then also helping to bridge the gap between the United States and Europe.
What do they want in Italy? Since you spend more time there and get to talk to them, what are they asking for?
So the Italians are really trying to see, is there a way for the conservative movement in the United States, specifically the CPAC organization, is there a way that they can support a more of a united conservative movement. Now, it's not that they're really asking for it. It's more me trying to bring the sides together and be able to present a potential project that could support the conservative movement in Europe. What they really need is they need to align more of the parties that are on the conservative side of the ticket. We are trying to get them so that they can start working together a little bit more, because as does not happen in the United States, we only have in the US, we have two parties. In Europe, we have a huge amount of parties, and a lot of new parties are created on a regular basis. So what we want to do is we want to start to support the conservative movement in Europe so that we can help to bring up new candidates that are going to be the next generation of leaders within the European politics space, especially in Italy. And we'd like to be able to help curate them, really give them guidance, be able to help them along the way so that they're not just, coming up very quickly and then sort of leaving the political space.
What are a lot of the misconceptions in Europe that they have about the conservative movement?
So some of the misconceptions, I guess, are in the Europeans look at the American way of, let's say, conservatism, let's say MAGA, let's say the Republican Party in general. They tend to look at it as a more of like a cultural phenomenon in the United States, where we're running around toting guns, where we're running around eating Big Macs, and this is sort of the idea that they've received, and they start to think that we are more of cowboys. We're the cowboy party.
Okay.
And so I don't think that's true, and I think that what we can do is, by bringing CPAC to Italy, we can really show them how wonderful the conservative movement is, and how when we get back to the basics of what the conservative movement is and why it's so supported in the United States and why Donald Trump won, this is probably one of the most important things that CPAC Italy can do, is really come in, show how we are together, how we're aligned with the Judeo-Christian faith, and how the alignment between the Italian conservatives and the American conservatives can really shape up.
Well, so there must be a lot of confusion too when they see. What do they think about what happened to Charlie Kirk overall?
So I have to say that most Italians don't know who Charlie Kirk was until he passed away, unfortunately.
Okay, so that was not something that was big.
It was not something that was big. It was not something that was followed in Italy at all. But what it did do was it did bring up the idea of who Charlie Kirk was. It came out in a lot of the newspapers in a short amount of time, so a lot of people figured out who he was and what he was about, but they didn't understand it beforehand, and I don't think they really have a concrete understanding of how it works, how he was working in the United States, and what his effect on the conservative movement was in the United States. That is something that I think this is why it's so important that we have a conservative movement that is working together between both Italy and the United States, so we can get more people to understand this.
For sure. No, that's really good. So what are some of the things that you hope to accomplish by the first Italian CPAC? Is this going to be the first one?
So we're going to organize the first Italian CPAC in Italy. We are working on details now, so hopefully we can get that all lined up. And we have gotten a soft approval already for a potentially a September 2027 event. And this is something that we're doing privately. We're organizing this, and it should have a huge effect.
And people can come from all over the world.
Yes, we're gonna align all of the leadership that's coming from not only the United States but also from all of Europe. This is where we want to really bring those conservatives together.
So, right now, who are you have that's really championing for this on this side? That are saying, "Hey, we're going to be there. We support this. Let's do this."
So we have support from all of the elements, let's say, of the CPAC movement. And then we also have we have supports from the higher ups. So this is something that we're working on.
So we are still at CPAC. What have you thought so far here?
Oh, I've been all over. So we just had Kennedy speaking. Went to see that Reza Pahlavi this morning. There's been some fascinating conversations. Obviously, I've come from the UK. I noticed there's a big international delegation in general this year. We have the Koreans, the Australians, the Iranians, the British, the Polish. So big international flavor here in Dallas, and I've really enjoyed all of the networking. Yeah.
How long have you been going to CPACs?
So I've gone to the European CPACs for a number of years, so in Hungary and Poland. Poland last year and then Hungary for the last few years. This is my first time actually at the American CPAC.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, but, you know, I've known everybody involved and all of the great movements surrounded CPAC for a long, long time. So.
And you're starting the first in the UK. Tell us about that. What do you have going on with that? I know you're a big part of that.
So I'm a director of CPAC Great Britain. It's the first time, amazingly, that we've done this, and obviously it's going to be huge because we haven't had this level of transatlantic energy in forever. You know, since Thatcher Reagan, there hasn't been a huge amount of overlap between administrations in the UK and the US. And we really want to re-energize that conversation. Obviously, in the UK, we've got a big centre-right movement under Nigel Farage at the moment that's kind of moving policy in the right direction, and we want to tap into some of that MAGA energy. Yeah.
What did they say about Steve Hilton running for California? What's their take on it? What are most Brits saying about it?
So Stephen's an interesting one because he was David Cameron's advisor for a long time. He was on the more liberal side of the Conservative Party. So obviously he's running under the Republican banner over here, which is very interesting. I don't know Steve personally, but what I will say is that the Conservative Party as a whole, that he was a part of back in 2012 kind of time, 2010, that's kind of what we've been leaving behind in the UK. We're moving more towards Nigel Farage.
Okay, so he's a different type of...
He's a different kind of Conservative. I don't know his personal politics, but I know that, the Conservative Party as a whole in the UK is going through a rough patch at the moment. Obviously, it lost the 2024 general election. And it's starting to rebuild and regrow, and I think it's reshaping in a different direction as well. Yeah.
What are people looking for to do there? That that all the back talk of this is what we want, this is what we haven't had, this is what we need. What have you heard?
So
I know that's a big question.
It's a big question.
That's the way you can.
There are two really key issues I think in the UK that everybody on our side of the debate agrees on. So one is the amount of impact that unchecked immigration has had. Particularly in the last 30 years, even more significantly in the last sort of 7-8 years. Something happened which we call the Boris wave, which was essentially under Boris Johnson. I don't think it was intentional from his side necessarily, but immigration policy kind of deregulated to the point where too many people were allowed to enter the country at once. We had a net immigration of close to 1 million at one point, which is incredible in 1 year.
Wow, that is incredible.
It is incredible. And it was happening consistently over the space of a few years, between 500,000 and 1 million people coming in each year. We obviously have the situation, as all the world knows, with the small boats coming in on the south coast. Illegal immigration is a big problem. But the other thing that people don't talk about as much, perhaps internationally, is deregulation. We haven't deregulated as a country in a long, long time. Our bureaucracy is through the roof, our red tape is through the roof. And so getting a pro-growth, pro-prosperity, pro-energy agenda back into the United Kingdom is a big part of what we want to try and achieve. And obviously, I think it's really positive to see both Reform and the Conservative Party now coming around to that conclusion that this pro-growth, pro-sovereignty agenda is the way forward.
Wow. Right. So what is your involvement? You've been doing this for a while, and you're part of different things. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So, my background, I started working with a think tank about 7-8 years ago, and I didn't do politics for a long time. I was in what I call normal jobs, so marketing, property development, that kind of thing. And then I got into politics mainly because of Brexit, mainly because something happened in the UK that in 2019 a lot of what I would call socially conservative but perhaps working class people voted for the Conservative Party for the first time. They'd always voted for the Labour Party.
Okay.
And they gave their trust to the Conservative Party because Brexit was a big deal. They'd
right.
voted for Brexit, right? And they were kind of betrayed by the elite class during that time in government because their interests weren't really put forward in Westminster. They felt like they were economically shortchanged by the ruling class at that time. And then obviously, Nigel Farage was instrumental in Brexit. He then became instrumental in the Reform Party, and I, after a period in journalism, went into political consulting. My company helped consult with Reform on their ground game in 2024. And that was really the shift of a new direction in British politics where challenging the status quo became very important. And the consensus, the uniparty consensus between the two parties that had stayed for so long between Labour and the Conservative had changed and shifted. And people felt like it was time for something different. And I think something similar is happening here in America as well, where you had a kind of consensus for a long time between the two ruling parties, and all that changed with the MAGA movement. So I can see big parallels as to what's happening. And of course now I'm directing, along with a great group of other directors, CPAC Great Britain. Former Prime Minister Liz Truss is one of those who's also working with us on that. And we're also doing a lot of other things. We're opening up new independent media. We just launched a new think tank looking at transatlantic policy. We're doing a lot of different things in that space to try and bring the two movements closer together.
Wow. And then what are some of these other groups that you're a part of?
So I'm pretty independent when it comes to groups. I mean, to be honest, I did run for the Reform Party last year. But I'm pretty bipartisan when it comes to the pro-growth agenda. I think what we really need is a unifying kind of factor. And I think CPAC does that really nicely because it's not party political. It's not all shouting about which party is best, which leader is best. It's bringing people together and assessing the ideas and the quality of the ideas. And one thing I'm very passionate about is getting young people involved in politics. Coming up through the political ranks, I realized that there wasn't a great deal of mentorship for people coming into politics. And I'm hoping that CPAC can also be a vehicle where young people can come together, find mentorship.
So now I have both of you together. Well, this is kind of more convenient because now we can answer all the questions about CPAC. So we got CPAC Italy, CPAC UK, and why should people come and support these events from the United States? What are you guys hoping to gain by having us come out there?
Well, speaking about CPAC Great Britain, I think obviously everyone knows the challenges that the UK is facing right now. It's no secret. We've got a problem with free speech crisis, an immigration crisis, an economy crisis, every crisis that you can imagine. But all of that's solvable, and I think the other thing to think about is how important the UK is to the world. Obviously, a lot of money flows through the City of London internationally. We're a critical partner when it comes to defence and intelligence, and I think it's a sad day when there's questions over whether or not you can trust the UK as a partner,
Right.
and that's what we need to change. So I think we need all the support we can get from America. It's time that America really lends on us to do the right thing and to make our government reconsider its trajectory. And I think CPAC is a big part of that, showing that there really is a pro-growth, pro-prosperity movement. So I'm hoping a lot of people can come from America, have your voices heard in the UK, make our government understand that it's not taking the right direction, and support the movement that is going for our election in 28-29.
And then, because I know you're behind the scenes, you're doing all this stuff, what kind of confirmations have you heard of different people that are coming? A lot of people from, what countries are like, oh, there's going to be a lot of these people involved in this particular July.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna make speaker announcements over the next few
I
weeks,
know.
so I don't want to give specifics.
I was thinking more about countries. And stuff.
Countries is an interesting one because we've had an overwhelming response across the board. It's not just the countries you'd expect. There is a real love for the United Kingdom around the world, which is undeniable. I need to redo that.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Yeah, it's undeniable because I think everybody understands the trajectory. History won't be the same.
Right.
And Britain has really had an impact in every corner of the world, whether it's through trade, whether it's through defense, policy, or just a general love that everything the UK represents. We've had responses from South America, from Europe, from
That's what I was kind of wondering, different ones that
everywhere around
surprise
the world.
everyone.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of leaders that agree with the agenda that's been set by CPAC in the US, but also really care about the UK.
And that's what I'm excited about, because for us, it's many people from all over countries that probably aren't here this weekend.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely, and as well as all the people you'd expect, there are some that you definitely won't expect. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Same for you.
So basically for us, I mean, the most important thing that we need to have happen, especially having CPAC Italy, is being able to really coalesce the conservative movement across a splintered field of parties. So they have a lot of different parties in the Italian spectrum of what the politics is. It's not like the United States where we have two parties with lots of them. And so what we want to do is we want to help them coalesce around conservatives, help build up those young conservatives. We want to get some of those Americans who really are out to support the conservative movement. We want to get them out to be able to support a conservative movement in Italy and support that. We've got the Vatican is a big support of the conservatives, just naturally.
Right, that's a big one to really remember. I think we overlook that a lot. And it's like Italy's the underdog, but we kind of know more what's happening in the UK. So we are very involved. And I feel like we're not as involved in Italy. So that's something that we're going to change. So that's something we're kind of
changing. And we're lucky that right now we have a Pope that's American. Now, there's some political differences, but those will be worked out over time. But what's important is that the Americans will be able to have a supporting conservative influence within the Italian perspective, which will help us to align politically with the U.S. and with Italian politics.
Well, no, thank you for what you're telling us about Italy. I think that's really cool. And thank you for everything. You've enlightened us so much on this. Are you guys going to go and support each other's event?
Of course, yeah. Of course.
So you're going to be in the UK and then you're going to be in Italy?
Well, why wouldn't I be in Italy? Of course, yeah. I mean,
who's going to miss the pubs?
Well, exactly.
So where do we go if we want to be a part of CPAC? How do we sign up for this stuff?
So our tickets go on sale literally this week coming. And that'll be general admission. And there'll also be a couple of other tiers to the ticketing. If you want to approach us for sponsorships, be there in any other capacity, then contact us directly through cpac.org, and you can get in touch with any of the team either in the US or in the UK, and we'll direct you in the right direction.
What's the date and location?
So CPAC UK is going to be 16th to the 18th of July in London at a central London venue. All of those details will be released with the tickets, and you can expect us to be putting out plenty of promotional material through the Central CPAC social media.
And for CPAC Italy, we're going to do that in a little bit more than a year from now, so that's going to be in September 2027. And more information to come. Keep checking back to cpac.org.
Awesome. And can we follow you on anything?
Yeah, so my socials, so if you're on X or on Substack, you can catch me at JR Types. And if you're on Instagram, go follow me at Joseph Robertson UK.
There's nowhere to follow you, you're unfollowable.
You can follow me at Marcel CBG.
Okay, so that works.
Instagram.
Okay, so we got a great answer. You guys have been great, and yeah, hopefully the next time I see y'all, we'll be in Europe.
Awesome, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, that's it. All right, thank you guys so much.
Felt right in the moment, felt right in the summertime. It felt right drinking cherry wine with you. Just wanted to own it, just wanted to take the time, learn all the things that I could about you. Now it's such a mess here, oh we are just stressed here. Used to be so easy with you. Now I must confess here, oh, I must confess, dear, don't think I'm in love with you. Winter is coming and I don't know what to do, and there's no more use in running, no more running to you. And I don't want your loving, I don't wanna be just friends, knowing all this time we were playing pretend.
It's a mystery.